Hi, Alex. I'm so happy you agreed to do this interview with me. The purpose of the interview is because I'm doing a project for school on mental illness in children. And because you're a young person, how old are you?
11.
So I assume you could answer some of the questions that I have. So, first of all, do you know anything about mental illness?
No.
So, what does it sound like it could mean to you?
Like someone that's like sick.
Okay. So, do you think that children have mental illness?
Yeah.
How do you know? And why do you think that?
Well, just people that I know that are like that are sick, but they don't know it
Why do you say that?
because they act a certain way, but they just like don't realize that they acting a certain way.
So, do you know kids who are bullied in school?
Yes.
How do you think they act when they're bullied?
I think they act like scared and frightened.
Do you know kids who get depressed and who get bullied and get upset and they don't want to talk to other kids and they stay to themselves?
Yeah.
So, why do you think that is?
Because like they're hurt and as much as they want to tell someone, they can't because they're scared that the bully's going to do something else, maybe worse.
So, what happens over a period of time? From what you've seen from the time you were in elementary school, what have you seen with them? What happens with them?
Well, I've seen them they improve and they starting to stand up for themselves.
So, some of them stand up for themselves. Do all of them start to stand up for themselves?
No.
So, when they stand up for themselves, what do they do? How do they stand up for themselves?
Well, when someone pushes them, they say, "Stop pushing me," or they'll tell an adult that they pushed them or took something.
So, do you think that when a young person is sick, the ones you see, have you ever known any of them to be bullied or to bully others?
Yes.
So, do you think that maybe with the people you see that maybe we as adults may need to look more at people who are bullied because it may cause them to be sick? You really believe that? So, what do you think we as adults should do to help young people
I
to
think
prevent them from being sick?
I think like that's why I watch more and like watch the hallways and watch in class and make sure like everyone's keeping their hands and feet to themselves and they're being nice to each other.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you think that would help some. And the reason why we're doing this is because it's been known that kids who are bullied, they sometimes become quiet and withdrawn and they get depressed. You know, kids who are depressed,
Mm-hmm.
you know what depressed is?
Yes.
What is depressed?
Depression is like when you're like down and you're like just not in the mood for nothing. You're not like you don't want to eat. You don't want to go outside. You don't watch TV. You just want to be alone.
Have you ever been that way? Be
Yes.
honest. So, because you've been that way, do you think that it could cause you one day to have a mental illness if
Yes.
you stay like that?
Yes.
Does that bother you? Does it worry you a lot?
Yes.
What would you like to see done to prevent that?
Like mm, I like to see adults try to work better and at least save drama for later when kids are not around.
So you think that sometimes it's depressing when adults act out in front of their children and they pick on them and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we do need to do better. And as social workers, which is what I'm going to school for, my goal is to do what I can to see the early signs and stages that could lead to mental illness. and to let kids know they don't have to go through this alone. When you feel depressed, when you feel alone, then you call people, you call someone, you talk to them. You don't go in the corner in your room because you know that sometimes with mental illness, it starts when you're young. But if you have parents who suffer with it, then there's a good chance that you will have mental illness. So when you see your parents suffering with depression, then you have to strive harder to not let that be you. You have to think happy thoughts, happy moments. When you feel depressed, look into yourself and think of the happy times and hold on to good times because we have to do it as adults. We all have bad days, bad moments, depressed times, but you can't stay there. And like you said, when you're bullied, you go tell someone. You tell your parents. You tell someone. And if they don't seem to help, then you find someone else. You go to the principal. But you just don't let people pick on you. But you find someone who'll listen to you. Because somewhere out there's someone who's going to listen to you. Grandparents, your brother, your sister, aunt, uncle, someone will stop and listen. But don't ever feel like you're all alone and you have to do this by yourself and no one cares. Right? And you tell your friends that. You encourage your friends when you see them going through depression. You see them being bullied. You see them like they're suffering with some type of illness and mentally they're withdrawn and not doing well. You talk to them and tell them they don't have to stay that way. And you tell others that they're going through it. Because then maybe someone will take the time to listen. So I thank you for taking the time to answer my questions and to talk to me about mental illness and bullying and all those issues, depression. I really do thank you, Alex.